Hello, hello. Hello. There we are. Now I'm not frozen. Well, I might be frozen because it's cold. Welcome in, everybody. I hope you're out there. I see somebody came on. This is Makers Monday number 26. So come on in. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're here. Share this. Like this. Hi, Sarah. If people aren't here that you think were coming, tag them, get them to come on in. We're going to have some fun tonight. Got a nice demo planned. Oh, hi, Renee. We missed you last week. Happy February, everybody. Hi, Terry. Happy Monday. Happy February. Happy Groundhog's Day Eve. Tomorrow's Groundhog's Day. And happy winter. Hello, Diana. Oh, wonderful. Send us some of your warmth there, Diana. It is cold here. I think it's in the teens with the wind chill. Little wispy snow out there and not very much here. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, we're celebrating lots of things, you know. It's always nice when the month rolls over. We got a whole another new month to look forward to. I'm not sure what we're looking forward to, but there you go. We've got Groundhog's Day. Hopefully he won't see or will see his shadow. Who knows what that is? Whatever it is, hopefully he's going to tell us that it's going to warm up. Hi, Tanya. I know you love snow and snowmen, Renee. Me too. Give me a like and a thumbs up. Let me know you're there. Let me know what you've been up to. I've been sweeping my snow because we don't get enough snow to warrant a shovel. Not from where I came from, we don't. So I've been sweeping the snow, I've been feeding the birds, and I've been stamping and making cards. As you all know, I think you've seen some of the things I've been up to. I've seen some of the things you're up to. Oh my goodness, Diana, high 60s. Oh, I know some people on here that would trade places in a minute with you. Well, you wouldn't want to come over here where it's cold. But anyway, I know some of you have been making cards because you've been sharing them. My feet never get warm, Tanya. We had a card challenge last week, and I want to thank everyone. I had 3 ladies that took part in the card challenge, and that was Sarah and Rebecca and Sylvia. All 3 of you. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. All 3 of you created a card based on that template I showed. So thank you for participating. As a thank you, I am going to do a little product share. A lot of times if people follow through and reward me by making a card that I've suggested and shared it, because that's what this is about, sharing and inspiring each other. I'll have a little drawing or do a little prize for them. So, hi Sharon, did you get in okay tonight? I know other times it's been funky for you. But for the 3 ladies that did the challenge card, this is, if you can see this ribbon, I'm going to do a little product share. I'm going to take some of this really pretty, it's a retired ribbon, but it's a active color. I think it's a Daffodil Delight. Yes, it is, with a little crosshatch like a embroidery stitch on there. So for my 3 ladies, Rebecca, Sarah, and Sylvia, I'm going to do a little product share with this ribbon, and I'll wind some up on something and put it in the mail to you so that you can use it and you can be creative and show us what you did with that. So, but just a little thank you for being inspired by our challenge. Hi, Sylvia. I just mentioned you're one of the ones that did the card challenge. So I'm doing a little product share for the 3 ladies that completed cards based on the challenge. So I'm going to take this lovely little ribbon and I'll divide this up between you and Sarah and Rebecca and send it in the mail to you to say thank you. You can use it for some new creations. You're welcome. So that's kind of what's been going on and what we've been making cards of. I'm going to do a demo tonight. I'm going to show, I took some of the Ornate Garden paper The Ornate Garden paper is in the annual catalog. And there's a bunch of beautiful sheets with all kinds of flower images on it. One of the sheets is this sheet here. And it's gold, if you can see the gold. But with white, there's no coloring on this. So, and it's meant that way so that you can find a way to color that in on your own, if you choose, or you could use it like that. So, I took our new blending brushes to color this in, and that's what I'm going to demo tonight in a card. So, without further ado, and you may talk amongst yourself while I'm working down below, I'm going to turn the camera down and start showing you how I did that. So you'll see that blending process. I was talking this last week in the group about techniques and process and things that we do or techniques we want to try. So I thought I would focus on talking about little coloring tonight. So let's go ahead and turn down. Hang with me. Always takes a little bit of fussing with the phone here. There we go. Let me make sure that we're seeing this. Hold on, girls. Talk amongst yourself. Let me check this computer, see if we're lined up or not. We should be. This was the challenge. Hopefully you're seeing that. But that was the challenge that we had last week to try to create mosaic from that. So hopefully, for some reason the video's behind. There we go. Oh yeah, we can see pretty good. Which way do I gotta go? This way or that way? I bet you that's the wrong way. No, that's the way I should go to get more of it in there. But pretty much it's all in. Yeah, this was the challenge from last week, to create a mosaic-based card. And these were the cards that I had made. Excuse me. And I think I had the blue one done last week. I completed the pink one. And if you'll notice, there's some coloring on there. The one little postage stamp punch. And this is from this current, in the annual catalog, the Posted for You. And I actually there's lots of ways to color. There's, while we're talking about it, if I can find my little cheat sheet. You know, there's oh my gosh, there's multiple ways to color your images. And I made this a while back just to try to show 3 of them, but there's way more than 3 ways to color things. We have our Stampin' Write markers, and that's what I use to color this image. These are all 3 the same images, of course. The Stampin' Write markers give you more of a solid, bright color. There's not a lot you can do with the shading on that. This is done with watercolor pencil and blender pens. So that gives you a lot more subtle look to it. This one over here is done with our Stampin' Blend markers. And the Stampin' Blend markers come in pairs of 2. And because that's what a pair is too, Laura. And it gives you more options to get a variegated color, which is more true to life. And there's other ways to color. You can do, we do have watercolor paper and aqua painters. And those basically are brushes that have a water reserve in them, a well in them. And you just use your ink to pull up that mix with the water to color. I've done that before. There's 2-step stamping. You have stamps now that are 2-step stamping. One side does the outline of it. The other side is the fill-in color. And there's blending, which we're going to do today with the blending brushes. There's also spritzing. So it's a quick little introduction to some of the ways of coloring your images or coloring your paper, your background paper. And this right here, this little one that I did from the mosaic, this was done with blender pens, I believe. I know the leaf and the flower was. I may have done the lettering to be more brilliant with the Stampin' Write. But that's a brief introduction. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Calendar we don't need till later. We'll talk about that. Lots of things going on in February. So we definitely will do a little recount of all this at the end to let you know what's coming up. But without further ado, these are the cards, and if you looked on the website, you would have seen these cards. And I'm going to demonstrate how I did the blending on this panel. If you notice these two cards while we're talking about coloring, this one I used our ink pads and the blending brushes to colorize that background panel of that paper, which let me set that down here for a second, of that gold paper. I thought I'd experiment with this one, and this one was done with the watercolor pencils and the blender pen. So a completely different look to it. So I kind of like the blending brushes, because to me in person, and I don't know if you can see it from the computer, because sometimes it doesn't catch everything, but the gold just seems to pop more when you have the subtle blending instead of the actual individual colored flowers. So, but either one, just to play with it and see what it was like. So let's get one of these panels and our brushes and our inks. I played around at first just with the blending brushes and the inks, just to get an idea of how it would look. But when I'm coloring it, I will look at it and see where the different flowers might be and put the colors in there, or maybe where there's a leaf and put some green there. But it's just going to be general. I mean, a general swath of color. I will tell you, does this one have any? I don't see any daisy centers on here, but there are some of these little impatiens, I think those are, that have a center to them. And I had tried daubing with a larger dauber the insides of the daisies, and it was too much brown. So I did mix in a little bit of the pencil with the blender pen to get the centers, and I'll do the little impatiens there. I'm going to take a watercolor pencil. We sell 2 sets of these watercolor pencils, and they're actually one of the easiest ways to add color, other than your ink pads that you already have. But if you buy watercolor pencils and blender pens, then you get a simulated watercolor look to what you're coloring. So that's what I decided to do for the centers. And I don't remember exactly which center I'll use. I'm going to grab this Calypso Coral. And I just went in and put a little bit in the center of these impatiens, I think they are. I'm not sure what kind of flower they are, because there's no way to color that. I want that to pop just a little. And there's only 4 of them that I can see. But I did do that. So, and then you just, when you use these, they might pick up a little color, so I'll always double check to make sure that there's no residual color left in it. And then I would just hit it a little bit with that to mix the color around. And this little bit you can't notice. If you're coloring a larger image, of course, you'll see the difference. But just to blend it a little bit. All right, so now we're ready for the inks. I have my, I don't know why there's tape on there, but I have my silicone sheet up here because that grips the bottom of the ink pads. And I chose 3 colors of just inks that I had that I thought would look nice with the flowers. I have So Saffron and Pear Pizzazz, which are 2 current colors. I happened to grab Grapefruit Grove, which was an in color, I think, 2 years ago. But they do go together as a nice combination. So I would go ahead and open your colors up. Just going to open them all and try not to get messy. And there's yellow and the green. Now the blender brushes, these are our blending brushes. These are in the current January through June mini catalog. You get 3 beautiful brushes. I've used them multiple times. They rinse right out. They have very nice fine brushes. Look at that. See how fine those are. I've tried to stick to, I thought I'd only use 2 of these, but I guess I've used 3. I tried to keep cool and warm colors on one, and I was going to use the other third one for I don't know what. They do wash out, so it's not a big deal, but I've tried to always do that, and I've marked my cool one that I'll use blues and greens with a little piece of tape so I'd remember. But that's kind of what I've done with that. So as far as the coloring, it doesn't matter which color you do. Well, it does matter because I'm going to use this brush for the yellow and then the orange. I think I'll set the green aside for now. I'll do, well, or should I do the green first? Let's do the green first. We'll do the green first and we'll do the yellows last. I'm not sure the order I did it in before. Doesn't really matter. You're just doing, so the trick tube, if you can see this, let me put it in the middle. Getting your ink on. Some people I've seen do this to get it on. Some people do a little swirl. So these are a little older pads of mine, so I'll make sure I get some. When you're blending, you always want to start off the page. Even if I'm going to just color the middle, I would tap over here to get off excess ink. I see some leaves that come up from the bottom down here. So I'm going to start and swirl up in. And that might be a little tricky because you got a little piece of paper here and it might move. So you actually might want to start, because you got to, if you push towards the paper, it's going to bunch up on you. So I might want to start kind of here and work my way down those little leaves. So I'll just get a little bit more. You can see already some of the color is coming in there. It doesn't have to be exact. This is just giving you a hint of the color. I think I like that for now. And then there was a little bit of green up here, in and around this impatient. So I think I'm going to go up that way with that one. And it really quickly puts color into your, and I'm doing a little swirly color into your paper. And like I said, this is not trying to exactly color. It's just giving kind of a watercolor swash look. So I think that works for the green. Maybe just a little more at the very edge over there. Okay, so to color these, you can rinse them out. But while I'm working with them, until it's time to rinse out, I will just open up my Simply Chamois because the water takes it out, and that's a wet sponge. So I will do a little swish on here to make sure the excess is off for now. Actually, I'll stay with that side, just so it doesn't get anywhere. So, and then I'll switch that over so I can use the other side to clean the other. Put those away, and I'm done with green. Whoops, sorry. Watch out, you almost got inky on there. I almost got the computer. Luckily, I always keep some wet ones around. Handy for all kinds of reasons. Okay. Now, let's do our yellows and our, I think it's Daffodil Delight, right? No, it's So Saffron. And then, the Grapefruit Grove. Right, so let's do yellow and then the more orangey color to go from light to darker because I'm going to use the same one. So, and get your color on there and then take a look and see what color you want what. And I think I want everything, I'm going to put the little petunias in the orangey and the rest of it will be in the yellow. So just, I started off and I'm going across. So just keep at it there until it gets the color you want. Some big images there. I think I need some more color. Let me get in here better. Get a little more, there we go. But always start off your paper, because if you don't, you'll end up with a spot of color like the spots you're seeing there. And then you'll have to spend a lot of time trying to blend that in if you're going for the more subtle look. Where are we here? Got to go over here. My lighting is a little more subtle than I like, otherwise I won't look that good in the shots. So I think we need some up here at the top. need to go across like this. It takes a little bit of work, and I do apologize because this is not my normal work desk. So it's kind of tricky when you start swirling on a moving tabletop. But you can see that it doesn't take too long to get your color that you want. Oh, see, I did it. Is you got to go away. If you got a short piece of paper like this, away from yourself, or you'll bunch it up. And it does tend to get a little bunchier as it gets a little more of the ink on it. So watch for that. Okay, now I got the yellow in some spots. That'll flatten down when you adhese it. A little bit more right down here. It's a little tricky at the edge. I'm a little more aggressive with my yellow. And see what I did? One spot's going to be brighter yellow there. So get your brush and work it to mess it around a little bit. That's okay. Maybe one flower's darker than the other. It's handmade, right? All right, so now, since we're in the same color family, you can just go ahead and, let's flip this over. Order, not sure what that says. Says something art. Let's turn that down. You can just kind of go like this to make sure your color is gone. You'll see there's still a little color on there. It's not going to matter too much, but I don't want to contaminate my stamp pad. So we're done with the yellow. And this is our Grapefruit Grove. Let's get a little, this is a really juicy pad. So I probably don't need to do a lot to get my ink on that one. And I'm going to hit the little spots of impatience that I see. And there's one at the edge here. And then there's one, I'm going to stay with that because it's pretty inky. Go in the center here. Yeah, yep, there's that one. A little off kilter, but that's all right. It gives you the look. You'll come at it from this direction. Okay. And then down the bottom, there's some more. So why don't we go ahead and go up and over this and go down again. And just gives the coloring where you need it. And then I'll bring that up for you guys to see. I really like that down there. That was easy to color because it was at the edge. A little trickier when you're trying to color in the middle. But you can always go back and just rub it a little bit. So let's see how we did. Let's give this a close so we don't get the ink where we don't want it. And let's open this up and go ahead and clean that out. And I will clean these later when I'm done with the live later. I'll just go out to my sink and run some cold water and wash these out. And do they get totally clean? Sometimes when I watch the videos that the corporate office does, they seem to get totally clean. But for me, they don't. But that's all right. You're going to keep using them for the same purpose. So it's not a problem. So if you look, we no longer have plain white paper. We now have our colored, and we've got the 3 different colors in different areas to create the card from. And I might go ahead and do that real quick because I might give you a bonus tonight. On the inside of my card, I had a masking example. And we talked about techniques, and masking is one of them. The masking is when you have one stamp that overlays on another to create an image. So let's just get the rest of this card out here. We were talking about techniques and things, and I incorporated a lot of techniques in this card. If you look at the card, I ended up with that one, but it has the background black, and if I'm turning it right, you might be able to see the embossed. So embossing is a technique. And of course, the blending we did is a technique. Also on this, you'll see that there's distressing on the edge of the sentiment. So there's another technique. And on the inside, we had an image here. And to create this image, to have one stamp connect to another, it had to overlay. And to do that, you have to create a mask of one, the image you want to be in front of the other one, and then stamp the second. So I'll show you how we did that too. So I don't usually put the cards together, but I think I will tonight. So I better get my example in front of me, right, ladies? Okay. I think I put this down with glue. Sometimes when you have something embossed, the glue works better because it goes into the, this is just the multi-purpose liquid glue that we sell. You don't need a lot. When it comes to the glue, you don't want it scooging out everywhere, so you just do a little bit. I use different adhesives based on different things, and that's why we have different adhesives in the catalog. So let me get this so I can see it. Excuse my head if it gets in the shot. Just going to line that up. This example, this challenge card had just at the edges that were different, were the white, so that the white poppy would, or white daisy would pop. And that dries pretty quick and holds it pretty good. And then for the panel that we just created, oops, who saw what I did wrong? Ha ha ha! Quick, Laura! There's the problem with doing that. I skipped one step. That's the problem with being live. Hold on, folks. Get that back down. I should have put my ribbon on and I didn't. So the ribbon, when I do the ribbon on these, or this was actually the paper. So there you go, live video. I usually take the ribbon and put it over the edge. And to tape it to the back side of the card with regular tape, and then adhere it. But we can fix it. Let's get our length of ribbon. We'll just put it on once we have this together here. Because I would have had to adhere this, then the ribbon, and then stick it down. So that's okay. We can find a way around it. When it comes to doing cards, there's always a way around it. It might be a little trickier, but it'll work. And the person you send it to, it's a homemade card. They won't notice that, oh, she forgot to do this part of it. They're not concerned with that. So do I want it up or do I want it down? I don't know. If I go like that, I think I'll do it this way. So give yourself just a little bit of black at the edge there and line it up again. But it's easier to do the ribbon if you do it the way I said. You would put it on before you adhere the black panel to the front of your card base. But the way to get around it is just to, and I've done this before, run your adhesive right on the ribbon and stick your ribbon down flat. And that'll work too. You'll have to cut it exact once you're done. But that's not a problem. So this is the backup for when you forget to do the other. So take your ribbon and just put it down on your piece of paper that you've got in the background there. I think I'm going to use this runner because it might work better for that exact purpose. Just run your runner along your ribbon all the way down it. You'll get it on there. Turn her around. And get it on there. Okay. So now you just got to line it up. And that's sticky, so let's flip back over, girls. Okay, here we go. So this is plan 2. If you mess up and forget to put your ribbon on before you adhere your front panel, just put some glue on there. We have adhesive and scissors. We can fix anything, right? Us crafters. Line it up, stick it down, and you're done. But wait, Laura, it runs off the page. Well, yeah, we got scissors. We can fix that. Grab your scissors and just give it a snip. Give it a snip here. Tamp it down and give it a snip at the top. And tamp it down. Okay, there we go. Solved my problem. We're crafters. We can solve any problem. We're stampers. I can stamp my way out of everything. There was a commercial recently, and I forget what it was for, and they were saying, wear this, wear that. And I'm thinking, I'm a stamper. That's what I am. So, we've gotten that far with it. What's next, right? We need, this is because I didn't do this ahead of time. But we need to do, and this one's not the one I'm actually creating. I'm creating this one because I'm using the ribbon down below, because I asked one of you which one you like better. I kind of like them both. I was playing with it. I think the thing I like about this one is that the green ribbon, which I believe the green is actually Old Olive, not Pear Pizzazz, it pops a little better. The contrast is better. But sometimes people like when things are more monochrome, so this picked up the gold. Oh, and this little baby down here. This is, and they're in the current catalog, my little ladybug. We have little ladybug embellishments. So if anyone's crazy about ladybugs, don't miss out on those. But this is the one we're making. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is distressing, which is another, it's not distressing as in upsetting. It's distressing as in a technique. Oh my goodness, and there was one extra technique in this card. There was a lot of technique that I forgot to mention. And I have something to show you. We talked about embossing because this is an embossed panel. And embossing this, you run your panels, which here's the embossing panel right here. This is one that was in the last catalog. There's actually two in there to fit into the new mini Stamp and Cut and Emboss. But this little panel goes through your machine with a paper between it, and out comes your embossed paper, which has the image raised because it's pressed against it. So that's one form of embossing. You can also emboss with Versamark ink and embossing powders to create sentiments. When I first started making this card, I made 4 of them actually, I made them all with black Memento ink. And it just didn't pop. It's just not the same. It looked like gray, didn't it? So that's when I thought, well, and it's honestly very easy to do heat embossing of sentiments. I went ahead and did my embossing of all the sentiments in the black because it really, really popped. So that's one technique that's built in, a different type of embossing, which we hadn't talked about. When it comes to distressing, where's my distressors? You distress the edges, and people distress in scrapbooking all the time, and they go so far as to wrinkle and crinkle paper and tear paper and all kinds of stuff. But you just take a little ink, and some people use their ink pads to brush along the edge of it. I end up getting too much ink everywhere when I do that. I use one of the daubers. So I have one here with black on the edge of it. And you just do a little bit on the edge and brush it against all the edges of the thing that you're trying to distress. Look at that. How did I get ink there? Huh. Okay. So grab your little piece of paper and just do a little brushing along the edges, and you'll see really quickly it will go ahead and darken the edge. And the reason I'm doing this is like, well, why are you going to that extra step? Well, but until I did that, look at the difference. It stands out on the side that's distressed. The side I didn't distress yet doesn't stand out enough for me. So I thought I needed to distress it so that there was more dimension, more definition between it and the background behind it. And if it's a messy, the messier you do with this, the more authentic it looks. Tanya, if you're still on, I think the queen of distressing is your sister, Kim. I know when she does scrapbooking, she does a lot of distressing with the Kiwi Lane product. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I'm not supposed to mention competing people, but it exists. Can't help it. So that was distressing. You can distress with any ink color. And I wanted to pull this out. This is a card that one of our members in our Stamping Sisters group, Mary made. And you can actually even distress with white craft ink. So she took, and this is gorgeous, she took, to give it a pastel-y muted look at the edge, a real soft look, she took all the edges of these and used, there's white craft ink, and she distressed them with white ink at the edge. So that's really thinking outside the box, which is our Mary. But, so anyway, that's a different color distressing, a different look. So then, I think I'll just move ahead to the masking because this is going long. But I took dimensionals and dimensionalized that, and I tied myself a little bow, which is right here. And if you look back over the videos, there's one video where I talked about how to tie a bow with a can opener. Yeah, so I used my can opener. And then I couldn't find my can opener when I wanted to open something later. And then I finished off the front with the daisy punches, and these are in the current catalog too. I just went with straight paper. I didn't want an inked image on them, and I punched them out and put them together. I punched out 2 of each, 2 of the what I call large, that's just regular I guess, and then 2 of the medium, which I consider small, and I stuck them together with little glue dots, and then I glue dotted them to there. And this is a retired product, but I grabbed a bunch when they were getting rid of them. But they have these, they used to have these centers, which these are just, they look like a bee almost, the fabric on those centers. But you could use any embellishment for the center. I've done that before. Or you could stamp. Maybe there's a stamp center, is there? There should be. There's not an actual stamp center unless you use the stamps, but you could do. You could do that and then color them. So anyway, that's how I finished off the front of it. Let's take a look at the inside. So masking. And masking is an easy technique because you don't need any special tools to do it. You already have your paper and you already have your ink. So all you need to do is create a mask. And I didn't do it with this, but the easiest thing to create a mask with is a sticky note, because that kind of sticks down and can be lift off, but it doesn't stick too much. For this one, I didn't do that. I just did, and I've saved it, a mask out of a piece of paper. And all that means is that I stamped this image, because remember, I'm making this on the inside. I have to put the stem onto the flower. So I stamped this image of that flower so I could cover it up. Is it this way or this way? It's this way. For some reason that's upside. I must have done it upside down once. Yeah. So it can cover it up, and then you stamp the stem on top of it. And the thing to remember is that you have to stamp the image that you want to be foreground first, then you cover it, and then you stamp the background image. So we'll do that real quick. We'll see if I can mess that up too. Get stamping blocks. Get my stamps. And these are the red rubber stamps, which means I won't need to worry too much about having my stamping pad underneath, because these will, oh, wrong one, Laura. Stamping pad, this one. Got it. And the stem. There we go. Okay. Put them over here. Where'd the ink go? Here we go. Hair Pizzazz, which I don't want first, I want second. Go away, everybody. We're going to have a big mess here afterwards. Always takes a little while to get cleaned up. What color did we make that? Did we make it yellow? I think we made it yellow. Doesn't matter what color I made. I can make it a different color. I did make it yellow. So saffron. There is no such thing as yellow or green in Stampin' Up. Right, girls? Everything's got a special name and a special color. So what you want to do is get your image inked up. And you want to put it in onto your, where you want to be. And I'm actually going to do another technique here. This is another simple technique that you can do. There's our flower. Simple technique you can do without having any special tools. Come on, you. You're messing with me. There we go. Is that you can stamp off the page, which we're going to stamp off the page. Stamping off the page just gives a little more kind of movement to your, creates kind of movement on the page. I mean, that's the theory from scrapbooking. So, sorry for the noises. So you just, now if this was a sticky note, I wouldn't have to worry about it, but this is just a piece of paper, but that's okay, I'm only going once. So the trick to making a good mask is once you've stamped it onto your sticky note or extra piece of paper, you have to cut it out. You have to fussy cut it out. You want to fussy cut it a little bit inside of its image, just a hair. Otherwise, when you do the stamping, there'll be a halo in between the two images. You don't want that. You want them to match up. We'll see if I can do it correct or get a halo. So we'll put this here. Get my inked up pear pizzazz. And the trick to inking, really, you don't have to push down hard. You just really need to tap. This is an older stamp pad, so I'm doing a little extra. But if you push too hard, you'll end up with ink where you don't want it. And the same is true when you're stamping. You just want to press it down and give it time. Let it set a little bit. Give it time for the ink to transfer for the paper. So make sure that's flat. And I'll have to get in here a little bit. Then you can see where I stamped before and just follow that image. So just press it down, give it a second, let your ink transfer. You don't have to do CPR on this. You don't have to rock it. All you're going to do if you do that is get ink where you don't want it. Lift it up, and there you go. It's together. Let me get cleaned up. That's everything I wanted to show. Sorry if that was a little bit long. I always worry what's up when I'm not with you to talk. I hope you're all still there. Sure, I forgot things I wanted to show you, but that works for now. And close this before we get inked. All right, let's get you back up here, see what you thought. Hang tight. Sorry. It always takes a bit of fiddling. Here we go. Let me get this so you can see me. Oh, hello. Can't see what you're saying yet. Hold on, girls. We'll get there. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, thank you, Sylvia. And I even showed you how to correct things when you make mistakes. There are no mistakes in stamping. I won't call them happy accidents because that's Bob Ross's thing. But there are mistakes. So that's the blending brushes. The other thing I wanted to show you, and I wanted to tell you what's going forward as we look to the calendar. I think you saw the calendar. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff on this next month, which is great. It's a great month. But tomorrow they are announcing two new stamping bundles. It's called Hey Chick and Happy Birthday Chick. Really cute. There's two different stamp sets, and those of you that have been around in Stampin' Up, you will know that I think a couple years ago this set was out there with this Hey Chick, and they've reintroduced it, and it's got a partner now. It's got a whole other stamp set that goes with it. So to keep things fresh in February, they're reintroducing this starting tomorrow all the way till the end of June 30th. So that's adorable. I know our friend Kim Stotts out on her farm, she would love this. It even has a chicken coop and everything. Although I think she's done with her chicken coop. The chickens live in the barn now with the Highland cattle. The next thing on the calendar, just going down, if you noticed, if anyone looked at the group, I did create the Facebook room. So this Sunday, which is Super Bowl Sunday, I have a Facebook room planned. So any of you who want to we just get together and we hang out talking. Sarah, are you still there? I know Sarah did the room last time. I know Renee did. I might have lost somebody because I know we've gone long here, but we're going to do a room on Sunday. And if you've never done that, reach out and I can walk you through it beforehand so that you can take part in that. On the 10th, of course, is the next Paper Pumpkin. And I know a lot of you are signed up for this one, and this one's gorgeous. So this will be my last chance to talk about this because there is no live next week because I'm going to be busy with something else, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But this is, I know a lot of you are on board for this one. I'm excited for this one. Couldn't come at a better time for all the cards that we need. And then, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I don't know if Shirley or Barbara were in here or not tonight. But Shirley and Barbara are doing a crop on Saturday the 13th, and I'm going to be a vendor at the crop. I think I mentioned this last week. It's called Girls with a Purpose Crop, and they hold it in a church over in Cheviot, and it benefits the zoo. So it's a really nice, I know, in fact, I think Mary and Donna are going, so I know there's going to be 4 of us in there as far as people that join along and stamp along. I've been working on these. I don't know if I've shown these or not. I think I showed a picture, but I did these. I made table gifts for the crop. Whoop, this way. So, and these were made from some designer series paper that was in during last year's celebration. So these were fun because these are all based on punches. So I don't have the heart punch, but I used that part of the paper to make the panel. I do have the punch that's the little flowers. I don't know, Sarah. I think it's 8. But anyway, yeah, we're doing our room at 1:30, so it will not conflict. I know you guys like to watch. But this was the paper from last year. So this is what, it made it really easy to throw these cards together. So sometimes when you see these designer series papers, they're worth grabbing. And then the punches aren't that expensive, and you can really do some neat stuff with them. I had to make multiple cards, so I still got to make a few more. But these are going to be table gifts for people that come to her crop. So I wanted to share that with you. And then we're not going to do another Facebook Live until, oh my goodness, when is that? Till the 22nd. So because all these other things are going on. But maybe I'll see you at one of those things. If not, I will be posting for sure. But thank you for watching along. I'm sorry. Oh, you are just as bit as creative as I am, Sharon. Don't sell yourself short. It's just getting the right tools and getting familiar using them. I mean, I obviously mess up. I mean, I almost messed up this card tonight. But, oh, is it 6 or 6:30? Is that when it starts, Sylvia? Okay. Yeah, I'm not, I forget. I know I am on a Super Bowl board. A friend of mine started a Super Bowl board. So I will, I'm not sure I was going to watch her now, but now that I have some numbers on a sheet somewhere, Sharon, you're on that sheet. I know you'll be watching. So, but anyway, that's what we got going on for now. So, just keep stamping and I'll keep, inspiring you as I can. Hi, Terry. I missed what you said. Oh, can I go back? I can. I don't come up with ideas on my own all the time either. Once in a while I do. I have an idea brewing right now for a card. But when it comes to getting ideas, you can look into the catalog. You can punch the name of any stamp set and stamping up, the name of the stamp set, stamping up into Google, and it will show you ideas of cards too. Yeah, Pinterest is good too, but I get lost in Pinterest. I don't need another addiction. But yeah, Pinterest has a lot of ideas too. I do sometimes create ones that are my own idea, but Stamping Up is big on something they call casing, C-A-S-E-I-N-G, but it means copy and share everything. So they're big on doing that, and we're supposed to always, if we've used someone's idea, give them credit for it. But definitely you can do that. So yeah, but in fact, I think the card I made today, this one, this was off the template. So you can also look up card templates and find online card templates, because we did this template before. It was my Share Sunshine card. And I just thought, well, I'm going to make it again, but just change all my elements. But I'll keep trying to get new and different ideas that I case from somewhere or that I create and share them with you. So, and you, if you share them with me, it gives me ideas too. I mean, you all have ideas every bit as good. And we learn and grow from everybody's ideas and or mistakes. That's how you learn, is doing something wrong and fixing it. So, but anyway, stay warm, everybody. Like I said, the Facebook room is our next thing on the 7th. So if you can take part in that, please do. It's 1:30 on Sunday the 7th. And then if you're at all interested in getting together in person with people, they're going to be socially distanced and safe. But Shirley and Barbara are hosting an event on Saturday the 13th. And I will be there. I'll be there, I think, from when they start. It goes from 9 till 8:30. But I'll be there from the morning all the way through early afternoon. So I'm looking forward to that. So good night, everybody. Stay warm. Thank you for coming in tonight. Keep stamping. Happy stamping, everyone. Good night.